on some old Tommy Compost dice roll.
Hi, my name is Matthew Brown, and I chose How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now, I chose this book because over the years I've been, I guess you could say, easily influenced, done things that I shouldn't have done. And this is all because of my friends, the friend group that I have chosen, the people who I chose to surround myself with. Now, it's not their fault. I'm not blaming them. I believe that each person has the power to make their own decision. Therefore, I blame myself. These principles. Now, I don't plan on reading every chapter because not every chapter applies to me. However, the chapters that do apply to me, I plan on reading, notating, and rereading just to make sure I really fully understand how to. Okay, so there's four parts to this book, and each part having a bunch of mini sections. I've highlighted a couple of mini sections from each part. And for part one, I picked the big secret of dealing with people because honestly, sometimes like I look at everyone the same way, whether it's there's an age difference, uh, a gender difference. Like I view everyone the same way. I talk to everyone the same way. So I kind of want to change that about myself. From part two, I picked a simple way to make a good first impression because I'm worked at many different jobs, and yeah, I've been hired for all of them, but I feel like I don't make a good first impression when I go in for an interview, so I would like to improve that. From part three, I picked three different subsections. If you're wrong, admit it. That's a problem I have. Like, even if I know I'm wrong, I keep going at it. I keep wanting to prove my point when the right answer is like staring me right in the face. How to get cooperation. So I have a younger brother. I think Miss Fleekle taught him last year. His name is Chris. He's very stubborn, just like me, I guess you can say, and he never listens to me. So instead of me always trying to put my fist down, I'm the older brother, listen to me. I want to get a sense of cooperation from him, so we can both coexist in the same vicinity, without, fighting or arguing and stuff. And honestly, kind of embarrassing ourselves in front of our friends, our family. And I also picked when nothing else works, try this. So I've kind of come to a last resort for a lot of different situations, and I wanted to know um, what way possible, we can finish things off between me and someone else on a good note, because it honestly sucks like ending ending the talk like with an argument, or there's hatred, or because you say things you don't mean like in the heat of the moment, but when it's over and an hour or so passes by, you regret everything you said. And then the last one I chose from part four was talk about your own mistakes first. So I always like to point out like the problems between me and my brother, me and my family, me and my parents, me and my friends, but I never really look at myself first. So once I want to learn how to own up to my own mistakes, so it could really make the relationships I have healthier. Okay, so my book is a little different from everyone else's. I can't really demonstrate like in person how I'm interacting with these people, what my relationship is. So there's none of like demonstrating the steps in the book. I can't really do that. But I'm just gonna read out what each step describes and then tell you how effective it was with whom I used it with. On page 17, it says, "There's only one way under high heaven to get anybody to do anything." Did you ever stop to think of that? Yes, just one way, and that is by making the other person want to do it. So I kind of reread those lines a couple times and made sure I understood. So with my brother, I wanted him to empty the dishwasher and take out the trash for the day. Now we're both pretty lazy for housework and stuff, so I'm like, at first I'm like, can you do this for me? Obviously he said no. He doesn't do anything for me. So then I sat there. He's eating his food, whatever. It's after school, and I'm like, but bro, if you do it today, then I'll do it tomorrow. He's like, he's like, no. Why don't you just do it today, and then I can do it tomorrow? You know, because we take turns. That's how it is. And he kind of like threw me off for a little. So I sat there and thought to myself, how can I make him want to do it today? So I told him, if you take out the trash and empty the dishwasher today, you can have the PS4 tonight. So as soon as you offer a reward for someone, like for them doing something, they're obviously going to want to do it. Like if there's an incentive for the person who's doing a favor, then they'll do it, because nowadays, I mean, especially for me, it's kind of difficult to find a nice person who wants to do a favor. So I just got back from my dental assisting class. Me and my partner Remy, we're taking X-rays, and we can only do it on a dummy because we're not certified yet to do it on people. Hence why I'm taking the class. So she took her X-rays, we developed them, whatever, came out fine. I took my X-rays. After they came out of the developer, you could barely see the tooth or the gum. So I was kind of mad. I was like, she probably must have opened the film in light, therefore ruining the X-ray. So I confronted her. I went up to her. She's like, I didn't open them in the sunlight. I opened them in the machine where it was dark, and I put them in how it's supposed to be. So I'm like, why did they come out like this? She's like, well, Matt, you didn't place it right in the mouth. I was like, what do you mean? I always do it this way. She's like, yeah, but the tongue was still in the way. You didn't move the tongue, and it was too far back behind the molars. Now, if this was the old me, I could have defended myself, fought for what I thought was true, and blamed my bad X-rays on her. But I remembered what I read in part two on page 128. Um, he says, if you're wrong, admit it. You'll feel better about yourself, and the other person will gain some more respect for you. So I admitted to putting the film wrong in the mouth, and I just redid the X-ray, and everything was okay. All right, so this is week 3 of my project. It's Sunday. I just got home from church. I had kind of an interaction with an older lady. Um, Obviously at church, people get out of church, they're hungry, they're trying to rush to get some food, to get some coffee, some tea, whatever. So I had just read How to Get Cooperation the day before. I have it highlighted right there. Okay. So Dale tells me, the reader, in order to get cooperation, you want to give the encounter a challenge. Now, what he means by that, when you want to give the person you're encountering a challenge, you're forcing them to do what you wanted them to do. However, they feel like they're succeeding at something. So, she cut me in line to get the food, right? I was like, excuse me, miss, you just cut me. I've been in line for a long time. She didn't even react to what I had to say. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. I decided to move to the side to let someone else pass. okay, because I felt bad. It was a little kid. When I did that, the old lady turned around. She's like, obviously in Assyrian because I'm Assyrian. I don't want to say it in Assyrian here. She's like, so you have a problem with me cutting, but not this little boy? I was like, yeah, this little boy, he's still young, he's growing, he's immature, he needs food, he's hungry. You're older than me, you're wiser than me, you have more experience than me, you should know not to cut anyone. Now, when I told her this, she didn't know how to react, and then I tapped her on the back. I was like this. I, I was like, it's okay, go ahead, I don't mind. You can go in front of me too. And she had like this sobbing, soft face on her look. And I felt good about myself because not only was I the bigger person, but I made her realize she was in the wrong. Okay, so this is the last part that I chose to read from this book. It says, talk about your own mistakes first. So I kind of came to the realization that my brother doesn't really disrespect me. He doesn't not really listen to me. I know that's a fragment, but I don't know how else to say it. When I exploit his insecurities or stuff or things he has problems with, that's when I get the disrespect. And it kind of hit me like I'm the reason when he acts this way or when he acts in like an unpleasant sort of way, and I really feel bad for it now. I'm like, I always put him on the spot, I always call him out, I always let my parents know when he acts this way, and I'm always like, oh, I'm not taking you anywhere, you're not coming with us. Because even though my brother and I are 2 years apart, us Assyrians, we all kind of hang out in the same group, we do the same thing. The age range is like 14 to about like 18, 19. So yeah, I take him with me almost everywhere I go. And I kind of put it together that the only time I'm being disrespected by him or he doesn't listen to me or I get an attitude is when I exploit him, when I do things he doesn't like to do, or when I say things about him that he doesn't want to hear. And I've kind of looked at myself and I've made a promise to myself that I'm going to change. Obviously, I'm not going to tell him so I don't sound like a soft guy in front of him to where he can boss me around and treat me like that all the time. But I've made a promise to myself that I'm going to treat him differently and I'm going to talk to him differently in front of people so I don't get that disrespect that he gives me. Okay, so this is the end of my project. I read How to Influence Friends, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It was honestly from the sections I chose that I wanted to improve myself on. Um, it was pretty helpful. One problem I think in the book is it doesn't relate to all situations. Like it's pretty straightforward on what to do. Like it's very easy to complete the steps he's telling us to complete, but it doesn't always apply to every situation there is. So that's one thing I had a problem on. But a couple of the sections I chose, for example, um, how to get cooperation, that basically works with anyone and everything. If you're wrong, admit it. That's more of a personal problem that I needed to learn and that I needed to accept. So I'm learning, honestly, even still now, how to admit when I'm wrong because it's kind of difficult. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I had set some goals for myself, to try and change my relationship with my brother, to try and change my relationship with my parents and like friends and other loved ones. And this book helps, but it all depends on how the other person reacts and what the situation requires. So, would I recommend this book? I mean, honestly, no, because it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't apply to everything, but it's a good read if you think like your your problems are original and like everyday problems. So yeah, that's all for my 30-day project. Thank you.